everybody, it's Dr. Joe, and today I'm going to show you how to use a cane properly. So let's get started. Disclaimer alert, disclaimer alert. Before we get started, if you haven't already, make sure and click the subscribe button. And if you want notifications every time a video comes out, make sure you ring that bell. So let's start off with how to adjust your cane. A lot of people have that question. I see patients come in a lot and it's not the right height for them. This is really important because if you don't have the right height, it can end up making you either lean over a lot or have your shoulder come up a lot, and that's going to cause pain in other places. So this is really important. The biggest thing is, it's not an exact number, but you should really have about a 20 to 30 degree bend in your elbow. So when I'm standing, it should be slightly bent. And that's the reason is you don't want it straight out, because a lot of times then you're leaning into it. And you don't want that bend so high where your shoulder's coming up to your ear. So again, you don't have to pull out a goniometer, which is what we have, what you would check in the clinic, but you just want it to be comfortable with a slight bend. And that head, the handle here, should be about where your greater trochanter is. And you're like, what is that? And that's basically that hip bone that sticks out. That's about where you want it. So this is about the right height for me. I'm going to turn, and you can see there's that little bend in the elbow there. So if it was straight, I'd probably have to lean into it a little bit. So that's why you want that little bend. Most canes have this little knob here. Sometimes it's down at the bottom, so wherever it is, what you want to do is it has usually a little twist spot right here, and this is just to tighten it up. So, uh-oh, it's really tight. I was going the wrong way. So you want to loosen that up first because it goes up and down, and then you just click on the button and you can go up as much as you need to, or you can pull it back down. But make sure once you get it in the right position, you tighten this back up, because a lot of times, especially if it's down on the bottom, this part will slide down if it's not tightened up, and then every time you walk it goes clink, clink. So if that doesn't bother you, I guess that's fine. It does okay if it's not tight, but if it's tightened up, it keeps that solid, and so it's nice in a solid spot and that little piece doesn't roll around. You also want to have the cane on the opposite side of the injured leg or the hurt leg. I've had a lot of comments from people saying, but I want to lean into it, so why don't I put it on the same side and walk like this, and I need that extra weight because if I do the other side, it still hurts. Canes are meant just for balance. If you're having to shift all your weight onto the cane, you need something more than a cane. Then you probably need a walker or maybe some crutches or a double cane kind of situation, because if you're not just using this for balance, then you're going to throw your whole body posture off, and then you're going to cause yourself other problems. Because if I walk like this, see how I'm kind of leaning into it and I'm putting extra stress on my shoulder's going to start hurting. I'm not walking properly because my arm is not swinging how it's supposed to. The reason it goes on the opposite side is because that's how we walk. When we walk normally, if my left leg goes forward, my right hand goes forward. So we're doing an opposite kind of swing. And we don't walk, I don't even know if I can walk like that. So we have that opposite swing to keep us balanced, and we want to do the same thing when we have a cane. So every time the injured leg or the hurt leg goes forward, you want to take that cane forward. Again, it's just there for balance. It's there to take a little bit of pressure off. It's not to take complete weight off of that leg. And if you feel like you're doing this and it's still hurting, then you probably need something more. So then the next question is, when do I need that cane? Well, when you need the cane, there's some great questions to ask. But before I go into those questions that you want to ask yourself to answer them, let me tell you a little bit about the Medi-cane. This is their foldable traveling cane. It's really cool because, as you saw in the beginning, it actually folds up. And the cool part about that is if you're going somewhere, let's say you're going to an event and you don't want your cane sticking out in an aisle or something, you can just fold it up and, you know, put it in your pocket if you want to, like this, or you can put it in your purse or something like that. But it's nice because you can fold it up, it stays out of the way, and then when you're ready, you just put it back out and then it's nice and stable. So it pretty much locks itself out once you put it out, but I would check just to make sure that everything's in place. It's also got a little holder, so sometimes people like to hang it up on things since if it's a one-prong cane, it won't stand up on its own. Or just some people like having it around their wrist, so if they are standing there and it tends to fall, then they don't have to reach down on the ground and pick it back up. So that's really nice. Some people keep it there, and it's slidable as well, so you can have it higher or you can have it down lower, whatever is more comfortable for you. The handle's a wood handle, so it's really nice and comfortable as well. It's got a little curve in there just to sit the palm of your hand in there, and it is very nice and comfortable. You can see here that the stopper is nice as well. And if you're interested in purchasing the Medi-cane, click on the link up here. So the questions you might want to ask yourself if you don't have a cane and you're like, I don't know, should I really get a cane? Question number one would be, when I walk throughout the day, does the leg hurt? Do I have pain when I'm walking? And so the answer to that, if it's yes, you might want to try using a cane. The next question would be, do I feel safe when I'm walking? If you walk a lot and you just feel like, you know, ooh, sometimes I just feel a little drunk while I'm walking, you know, I just kind of swerve a little bit and stuff like that, you probably want a cane because that might mean you have some balance issues. Another good question to ask is, am I a furniture walker when I'm at home? I have a lot of patients say, well, I do fine at home because I know my couch is over here, I can grab onto my couch, I've got a hallway here where I know I can hang on to the wall, but once you get into an environment where you don't know where you can hang on to, then you have some issues and then you might be at risk for falling. And then the final question is, you know, just do I feel safe? Do I feel comfortable? Am I afraid of falling? And if you are, then you really probably want to get a cane. But the best thing to do would be to go for a physical therapy evaluation, and they can help you figure that out as well. So just a couple good questions to ask yourself if you need a cane or not. And then the final question I have people ask me a lot, if I just have weakness in general and maybe both sides are hurting and they're about the same and one's not worse than the other, they both just hurt, what side should I use the cane on? I usually then tell people, if you really can't say my left side's worse than my right or my right side's worse than my left, put the cane in your non-dominant hand. So then you have your dominant hand free to do whatever you want. So if it's really not an issue of maybe this side's a little weaker than the other or hurts a little more, just if you're left-handed, put it in your right hand. If you're right-handed, put it in your left hand. And then you have that other hand free to do whatever you want to. So it's pretty simple as that. If you have any questions, leave them in the comment section. If you're interested in purchasing the cane, click on the link up here. And don't forget to subscribe by clicking down here. And remember, be safe, don't fall. Have fun, and I hope you feel better soon.